That's it for us here on Good Day Chicago on this Orange Friday. Stay right here. Chicago Now starts next.
Caitlin, I am so mad at you right now.
Why?
I'm beside myself with anger.
What happened?
My co-host today. All right, yesterday I'm scrolling Instagram and your story pops up. You're one of the first stories that pops up, and all of a sudden there's a picture that you posted of a cup holder in a car. Yeah. And it was full of coins. And it wasn't the. Do we have a visual here, guys? All right. Here's what you posted. It wasn't the picture that so much bothered me. It was who this was addressed to.
Yes.
You addressed this to all the men.
I did.
Out there, saying, "Ew." Question. This was your caption. Men. Do all men leave coins?
I said, explain yourself.
At the. She
said,
explain
and the gum
yourself.
wrappers. The gum wrappers and the coins.
Listen, I hate to make sweeping generalizations, but I'm just gonna lean into this. In my experience, in my lived experience, it's not the gentlemen that have bad car hygiene.
Oh?
It's the ladies that have bad car hygiene.
Wrong.
It's you guys that are leaving all kinds of stuff in the cup holders and in the crevices. And in all the random hard-to-reach spots in the cars. It's you guys.
We need...
You called out the gents.
Listen, is this not true? Do you not have loose change in your vehicle?
There can be loose change.
In the crevices. Because I'll tell you what, that's not from the women. That's not from the women.
I want to put this out there into the universe. I want a pie chart. Okay.
All right.
You're calling out the men. I'm the Uno reverse card. I'm pulling the Uno reverse card out of it. I think it's the ladies out there with the bad car hygiene.
Because let me tell you something. When we leave somewhere, whether it be the car or the room, we are bringing with us all the loose items, okay? So if I go somewhere, the car, for example, I've got 3 beverages at minimum at all times. I will bring every beverage and my bag, and I will even put stuff in the bag that I don't want to be left behind. Now, same thing goes with the house, and I've seen this, and I should make a video about that too, Anthony.
You can, yeah, it's okay.
Listen,
you're good.
We go into a room, if we have a snack and we've got wrappers or a cup that no longer has a beverage in it, that all is coming with us, and we will be taking it to the kitchen where it belongs, okay? Men, on the other hand, will have a snack,
not true.
Leave crumbs, leave their wrappers, leave an empty can, and then exit the premises. And maybe in the back of your mind thinking, I will return later to retrieve these items. And then the women come. Have you seen that Instagram video? By the way, I didn't know we were going to go on this tangent here. Have you seen that Instagram video where it's like the magic fairy that comes in and cleans the surfaces for the man?
Oh, I don't think I've seen that one. I can imagine the direction it goes, though.
Sure. So he's talking to his wife, and he goes, listen, did you know if you leave something on this counter here, this fairy will come at night, and then the next day it's gone. Listen, watch this.
I'm not gonna argue with that. Anything within the house, that's up for debate. What I am pushing back on is specifically car-related. Car hygiene is what I called it. That is specifically why and how do husbands always leave change in husband? No.
So is your car in tip-top shape?
Mine is.
And Maggie's is not, huh? Maggie's
I'm not going to call anyone out, but all I'm saying is mine is in tip-top shape.
Okay.
And I've got other gentlemen friends who keep that whole thing you were talking about where like, hey, if you have 3 cups, all 3 cups go with you at the end of the usage of the cups.
Yes.
I know a lot of dudes who keep their cars free of debris.
Really?
Yeah. So anyway, I want to hear from our audience on this.
Do you need a bandage?
I do. I have a gushing.
Like a piece of raw chicken.
I stabbed myself yesterday.
It's really nasty.
The Band-Aid came off in the bathroom. Thank you, Emma.
It's a
the Band-Aid, and now it's gushing again. And on that note, everybody, we're going to bring in. I was telling Israel Idonije is not going to remember this, but like shortly after his time, he's not going to. Israel, are you there? Can you hear us? We can see you. No. We can't hear you yet.
You can't hear
there
me.
We go.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me now?
You're not going to remember this. When I was over at a neighboring rival station, you and I arm wrestled on live television. It was on a morning show, and I'll refresh your memory. I did not win that.
Israel, before we get into the football conversation too, I gotta know, do you have loose change in your car?
In the cup holder?
In the door handle, in the cup holder?
I do not. I do not. I agree. I think guys they take care of their cars.
They
take it pretty seriously. So I think the guys, the car hygiene is usually on point.
Thank you. Exactly. He's got no change in his cup holders.
He looks like he has a really beautiful.
He's got his stuff together.
And for the ladies, you might have 4 or 5 Stanley cups. You got your scrunchies. You got
there's like there's random like cosmetics.
Right.
There's used
18 pairs of sunglasses.
Kleenex. There's tons of sunglasses. I feel like there's one of those eyebrow or eyelash like scissor things that frighten me. Those scissors that.
This is not true.
It's so true. You're gonna get outvoted on this.
I might.
Anyway, let's pivot to the topic at hand here.
Okay. All right, Israel. How are you doing? How are you feeling? What is going on with the Bears, and what is this Sunday going to look like?
Yeah, I mean, I think along with the entire city, everyone's on 10. The energy, the excitement. The guys are, how they've played this year. Yes, it's been stressful, but it's brought a lot of excitement to not just Chicago, but really to the National Football League. They've brought a lot of new fans into football, just finding ways to win games, consistently underdogs game after game, but they've played relentlessly. They've started slow, but played 4 full quarters, and really just showing that never quit mindset, bend but don't break, and now being in a position to win or compete for the divisionals it's exciting to see, and I can't wait. The fans show up in droves. The energy's on 10, and the Rams coming into the Windy City. It's looking really good for us.
What, Israel, do you think is the right approach to get that 4 quarters of football from the offense in particular here? We've seen these comebacks over and over. Is that maybe just the blueprint for this team, that we come alive in the second half? Or if you're Ben Johnson, do you have a specific tactic this week leading up to the game against the Rams that really gets that offense going in quarters number 1 and 2?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all hope that the blueprint isn't fourth quarter comeback, as we move forward. But I think it starts with the run, right? This team has showed that they know how to run the football. They've done a phenomenal job all year long being able to run the ball. And, I think getting in there, giving it to Swift, giving it to Manungai early, letting the big boys up front, dominate the line of scrimmage. And from there, utilizing that passing game and Caleb's ability to make plays and utilize his weapons down the field. But I know for a fact that our coaching staff, led by Ben Johnson, this is important to them. They're going to figure out a solution on how to solidify an identity for this team early, first, second, the first halves of these games. And once they figure that out, they know how to close out, they know how to finish, they know how to make big plays. But getting started faster is going to be a big part of this playoffs and into the future seasons as we go into the coming years.
I've got a question for you, just because you are going to know better than anybody else. Why does this happen? The cardiac bears, why is this happening where we do start slow and then we ramp up at the end? Is it anxiety that gets ramped up with the adrenaline because they're losing, and so then all of a sudden they're really trying? What is the problem?
Well, the game of football is hard, right? It's like nothing is given. And when you look at a lot of the issues we've had early, in my opinion, it's penalties, right? Early in the season, we were one of the most penalized teams. We weren't playing our best football. It's mental errors, it's mistakes, it's play calling, it's not managing the clock correctly, and it's decision making, players and coaches. That's what's plagued us through this season. Despite that, we've been able to focus and tighten up towards the end of these games and win. And I think what most of us are looking forward to is when the team limits the errors, they limit the mistakes, they limit the penalties, they make the plays that they need to make, right? There's plays, the outstanding plays, 4th and 8, everything on the line, Caleb to Idonije, and we're still in the game, versus there's plays that are the plays that you need to make. Sometimes we don't make those plays. When it all comes together, where we're making those plays we should make, we're playing penalty free, we're playing smart football, and then still having that killer instinct to finish the games at the end, that's when this team is going to be a real force to be reckoned with across the league.
One of the things, Israel, that struck me after the win over the Packers was some of that locker room footage afterwards, where we saw Caleb Williams actually get a little bit emotional talking about Coach Johnson here. In your mind, you've been around a lot of football your whole career here, you're very familiar with the franchise itself. What in your mind makes this particular group this year special?
Well, I think they've been underestimated, right? And when you look at Caleb and all the naysayers and the opinions of, he's not an NFL quarterback, he doesn't have the talent. Ben Johnson, same thing, right? He might not be the guy, or we might have made the wrong decision. Just this entire group of players, this class of young players, have been consistently underestimated throughout the season, and no one, outside of some hardcore, diehard Bears fans, gave them a chance to be where they are this season. And so when you look at what they've done, what they've accomplished, and at the end of these games, when all the guys get together and they look at each other man to man and say, hey, you know what? All the fighting we did all season long, it's for this moment. The games now are one game seasons, right? You win, you keep playing. And I know there was a massive weight lifted off of that locker room in getting that playoff game, and getting it also against the Green Bay Packers in the fashion that we did. It was just a lot of folks who didn't believe were proven wrong. And I think that emotion came from that, knowing that they got their first playoff win together. It's a milestone statement. And you could see it in Caleb's speech and Coach Johnson's speech towards the end there, in that locker room talk.
So speaking of emotion, I could imagine as a former player, you guys form a brotherhood when you go through these games and all of this practice together. How does it feel being a former player getting this far in the season?
Oh, it's amazing. I'm at every game, and this last game I lost my voice. I'm just now getting it back. But we're in there screaming, yelling, and living and dying every play with the guys on the field, and it's been just a tremendous pleasure to watch the guys go out there and battle and play and then win. Yeah. It's been a lot of fun for myself and a lot of our former players as well.
Can you talk about the defense a little bit here? We're going up against Matthew Stafford. I think he threw like 46 touchdowns during the regular season. He's like an MVP candidate. He's got these great receivers. What needs to happen on the defensive side of the football this Sunday to contain these guys?
Yeah, Matt Stafford is. I had the fortune to play with him with my 1 year when I was, not with the Bears, my last year in the league. He's a great leader. He's a talented arm. He's an absolute stud for his team, and we're gonna have to come prepared to go to war and battle for four full quarters. That last week on Saturday, we defensively started a little bit slow, right? We made some mistakes. We weren't on our best, but when we got to the second half, we started really playing some Bears defense. We were tough. We were stingy, and then we made plays down the stretch when it really mattered. And we need to start that from that first snap against the Rams. We need to play that type of football. Be relentless. We got to get to Matt. He was banged up a little bit towards that last game, so there's nothing better than to put a helmet on a quarterback early in the game and make sure he's not comfortable in that pocket. If Matt gets comfortable, he's going to be a problem, right? So we've got to get after him and then do what we do best, take the ball away, right? Defensively, make some plays, take the ball away, put our offense in a position to score, or defensively score, right? I think this is one of those games where we're going to need all 4 phases of this game, being offense, defense, special teams, and the energy, the fans in that stadium.
Yeah.
When the Rams step on the field, they shouldn't be able to communicate verbally or hear each other that, our fans are so loud and we're a part of the energy affecting the outcome of this game in each play.
Oh my goodness. I was going to ask you a different question, but since you just said that, I have to know. So when the crowd is loud, because they say, home team advantage.
Yeah.
As a player on the field, how distracting is that? You mentioned how you might not be able to hear each other. So that really does play a role in how the team works together.
Absolutely. Yeah. When they start talking, you want them to be stepping to each other, trying to communicate, having miscommunication errors.
Oh.
When we played in loud stadiums, we went to hand signals on our D-line. So you would never have to verbally talk to somebody. And that's what a loud stadium can do. You force the team to implement new tactics to be able to, communication is so important in that game. And you don't want the Rams to be able just to communicate however they want. You don't want the O-lineman to be able to hear Matt as he's making checks and making audibles, right? You want them to be, stepping off the line, running to each other, talking to their ear holes on their helmets, right? That fan energy, that sound, that extra component of that the sound, not letting guys communicate will be important. And our fans, all season long, we've done a really good job of that, especially in these fourth quarters. We've done a really good job of keeping the energy high, and I expect nothing less on Sunday at 5:30.
Yeah, if you're going to the game, you got your marching orders from Israel Idonije to do that. I have to ask you this: when you look back on your career, do any stadiums in the NFL stand out to you as being the loudest for a visiting team to perform in?
Yeah, I think there were a few times where I paused and would look around. It was just so loud. I think, we played one game in New Orleans where the fans were, it almost seemed like they were piping in sound into the stadium. It was just abnormally loud, how loud it was. And then I think there was a game in Chicago against the 49ers where same thing. I think Nathan Vasher returned a punt for a touchdown, and our Bears fans were electric. And then the Super Bowl return, Devin Hester. Yeah. I remember, after he broke and was headed towards the end zone, I was standing on the field, and the stadium, the field, my feet were vibrating. The energy was so intense and it was so loud. And that's the effect that fans have. You really have the ability to cause a distraction or elevate your team just by how you celebrate and cheer and taunt the other team as the game progresses.
You got to think, you use all of your senses when you're playing this game. So I can imagine if you knock out your sense of hearing, that's almost a distraction for your brain, so you're not going to be able to play as well. I wouldn't have even thought about that. Okay, so Idonije, let's talk about moving forward. So we're going to win this game. Who are you hoping?
Knock on wood. Where's the wood? I'm so
Where's
superstitious.
Go up against for the conference finals. Who are we going to face next?
Yeah, I think what I'm hoping for is Seattle doesn't get it done. And then, we'll have the 49ers here in Chicago.
Okay, from your lips. That'd be awesome. The other thing I wanted to ask you about before, we're almost out of time, but it was C.J. Gardner-Johnson. We had a little clip from him on the morning show today, Israel, and he was saying he does not expect the weather to play a role whatsoever. He's like, when teams are locked in and they're this competitive, it doesn't matter. You're impervious to the weather. That was kind of the gist of that soundbite. Do you agree with that?
No, I disagree with that statement. When we played, Lovie Smith made us practice. It didn't matter how cold it was. We practiced outside all week leading up to these really cold games. And then there were times, Brett Favre said it, Michael Vick said it, it's the coldest that they'd ever been in their lives, right? When you get your hand caught in between two helmets, it's on your mind, right? That cold is a factor. And, our guys will be, or have been, they've been in it. They're weather tested. And so there'll be some guys from the Rams, it'll be the coldest they've ever been. They're going to have heat warmers on their hands. They're going to be thinking about getting back to the bench to get under their heated jackets, right? And especially in a situation where we're able to get up early, you're gonna see that these guys quickly will want to get off this field and want to get out of Chicago. And I think utilizing that cold is going to be an advantage for our guys.
I hope you're right. Israel Idonije, really nice to see you. Oh, hey, what's happening at Staley's? Your place.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We're going to have 300-400 Bears fans in there, you know, from the early game straight to our game. It's a full house every Sunday. The energy is 10 out of 10. It's off the charts. And then after the win, we'll be having a post-game party to celebrate us moving on to the next game. And it's been a great season at the Staley, just celebrating every game with the Bear fans.
Oh, it's such a great venue. I did a nice live shot there. Great menu, great vibes, right close to the field and everything. Thank you so much. Bear down, sir.
Bear down. Thanks, guys. We'll see you later.
See you later.
And just a reminder, 12:30 Sunday is when our coverage starts with Game Day Live, and then we'll be on right after the game with our post-game show. Cannot wait.
I hope he's right that and it does stand to reason that like it would make a huge difference if it was frigid cold.
Very cold,
you
very
can't move
loud.
your fingers.
So there you go.
And the other thing I wanted to ask him, but I don't know if you know the answer to this. He might. Is whether clapping, like if you had a real loud, I've got a nice loud clap. Like I know how to position I'm not going to do it because it'll blow people. Yeah. Exactly, with the cup. If that works better than using your voice. If you know what I mean, what is more distracting on the field? If you devote your energy to clapping or? It
probably just drowns into one loud.
Yeah, exactly. Like if everyone, how to be the right 12th man. I know the crowd's going to bring it.
Oh, yeah.
Sunday,
that is something I never even thought about, but I could imagine that it would be jarring being on field surrounded by fans that are opposed to you, and they're so loud that you can't even think. So then you can't hear your teammates, can't hear the coach. You guys have to get really close to talk to each other. On top of that, you're distracted because you're cold and uncomfortable. As he mentioned, can't wait to get back to the bench to throw on your heated jacket.
That's a lot.
Great.
That's a lot. You just have to, I mean, hearing you say that, it's like the amount of respect you have to have for these quarterbacks that are able to like zone in and perform in those circumstances. Like there's a reason they call that the hardest position in football or in sports, in all of sports, I should say. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Getting serious when we come back, we're going to actually be joined by Congressman Mike Quigley because of fights. Yet another fight shaping up in Washington over how much money to appropriate to the Department of Homeland Security in 2026. Quigley's not happy with the current situation. He is planning on introducing an amendment to the fiscal year 26 Homeland Security Appropriations Bill. We're going to run through all that with Congressman Quigley when we come back after this. Stay with us. Welcome back, everybody. Fight brewing in Washington, D.C. over funding for ICE and Customs and Border Patrols is the big issue right now. Everything happening up in Minnesota. We saw a lot unfold in Chicago at the ICE facility here. Congressman Mike Quigley is joining us now because he is planning on introducing an amendment to the fiscal year 2026 Homeland Security Appropriations Bill. Congressman Quigley, thank you for joining us. Appreciate your time, sir.
Morning, thank you.
I understand you're on a time crunch. We got a hard out at 10:30. So run us through what is motivating you to propose this amendment, sir.
Sure. First, let's put this in perspective. The Department of Homeland Security budget has actually tripled. That's really hard to do with a budget, but they've actually tripled under the Trump administration. They've doubled the number of agents that they have operating. They've taken a lot of those agents away from other important securing the border functions, for example, drug investigations, child abuse investigations, and they've all poured it into ICE. And we've seen the results here in the city of Chicago. The stuff that we've witnessed is targeting daycares, pulling soccer moms out of their car, a ton of other abuses here, but obviously the most significant was 2 people were shot by ICE in Chicago. One of them was killed, in addition to the person, the Miss Good, who was killed in Minneapolis, and then the other shootings take place Northwest. So our measure is simply, we have some means with introducing these appropriation budgets and amendments to target that. In our minds, it should be to filter out the illegal activities that we see taking place, the indiscriminate use of tear gas, the failure to use body cameras, the lack of search warrants when they're operating under these programs. So there's 5 or 6 things we are targeting in terms of the activities that should be reined in, and we're trying to do it through the appropriations process.
Okay, Congressman, would you say Democrats are willing to have the government shut down if the funding isn't reduced?
Well, look, the fight over the government shutdown last time was about health care benefits primarily. And what we've seen is, look, we shut the government down. There were a group of senators who thought that they could trust the Republicans. And unfortunately, we learned that we can't. So in Illinois, there's going to be about 300,000 people who lose their SNAP food benefits. There'll be tens of thousands of people who are going to be losing their health care benefits. There'll be tens of thousands who are having their health care premiums double. So while they're tripling the Department of Homeland Security budget, targeting civilians at home, they're actually dramatically reducing for tax cuts for billionaires, health care benefits, and food for the most needy. So look, one step at a time. Next week, the fight's about the DHS, that budget that funds DHS, to make sure that those illegal activities are reined in. There's never left, but ICE is coming back, I believe, double, 4 times the force that they were here last time.
Wow.
Probably March or April.
All right, let's talk about the chances for an amendment like this to move forward with Republicans in control of Congress right now. What is the likelihood that this thing has a shot, and what's your strategy to make it happen?
Look, all we have is our voice and our vote on things like this. We do see some progress, some cracks and fissures. Perhaps that began with the Epstein files, but just in the last week, Republicans voted to extend those tax breaks for health care benefits. So you're starting to see some possibilities. We would like to win next week, but if not, we're putting in a placeholder here for amendments in the future, or at least get the president to understand this isn't where the American people are. The president's now calling for the use of the Insurrection Act, which is military force en masse against civilians. You're seeing Republicans push back on that with the president. I'd like to think this is just one other element of a president who's gone to the extremes here against the wishes of the American people. Clearly those in Chicago. I just have to add one thing. Despite all those other things that have taken place that are horrible, there are whole business communities like Pilsen and Little Village who have lost 20 to 40% of their business because of the ICE raids. What I heard from the Wicker Park Chamber of Commerce just before the holiday season is that the ICE raids and the Trump tariffs were worse to their businesses than COVID. So we've got our work cut out for us, but it's to protect our businesses and the people of Chicago.
We will be following along from the sidelines here in Chicago. Mike Quigley, thank you for your time this morning. We appreciate it, sir.
Sure. Thank you. Take care.
It's 10:30 on Orange Friday. I guess I changed out of my orange.
I didn't even put on my orange. My phone's orange.
Okay.
My backup.
Just put on whatever you had on during the Packers game. You know what I mean? I'm kind of superstitious, but the exact same outfit, exact same position.
Anthony,
right?
I think I've got a vibe that you are very on edge about this.
I get on edge about big games.
When he said knock on wood, he was sincerely panicking.
Yeah, there's wood down here, so
He got the foot of the chair.
Exactly.
But you also mentioned how when you watch these games, you get really loud and your sons are like, Dad, stop.
That has happened, yes.
So it's so funny though, because
you don't see it here.
Not at all. He's literally cool as a cucumber all the time.
Yeah, I don't think we ever watched a game together. We talked about how to lower your kind of your anxiety during the games yesterday, 2 days ago, and actually the psychologist we talked about, and I'm going to try to follow this, is she says actually maintaining hope during the game is actually good for your, you know what I mean, with the cardiac bears, to counter the effects of it getting like a little too out of hand and losing control of your emotions.
I feel like the opposite would be better for me.
Just to say it's a give up all hope, and then that's
You'd be a fun one to watch a game with.
Someday we'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to talk about another sport. I'm so excited for this. We are going to be joined by Sarah Warren. She's a local athlete who's overcome so much adversity in her career. She's a speed skater, and she has just made the U.S. Olympic speed skating team. Sarah Warren will join us when we come back. Not the rule.
10:34. We're still talking about this car thing.
Yeah, I was telling Caitlin, she is the car cleaner, the one with the good car hygiene. I'm saying she's the exception, not the rule.
I have seen the mom mobiles that are just loaded with French fries.
French old fries, coffee stains, coffee smell, just a mix of spilled milk, fast food, and coffee.
And shoes.
Yeah.
And
yeah. Exactly.
No, I get it. I get it.
Anyway.
I don't know. Anyways, all right. So let's talk about speed skating. 10:34. We are joined by Sarah Warren. She has made the U.S. Olympic speed skating team. Girl, you are so cool.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay, so let's talk about your skating career. When did it start? How did it start? Over the years, did you love it all along? And how has it gotten you to where you are today?
It's definitely not a straight path. I started playing hockey, but I played with the boys out in the Chicagoland area. Retired at the young age of 10 and happened to pound speed skating. Luckily, my brother was at the rink and it was just on the other ice sheet. I tried it and absolutely fell in love. So I was around 10 to 12 at that time. And so I skated all the way through high school, took a 5-year break to play college soccer at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, and then came on back after that.
Where are you
from? I loved it the whole time, but had to take a little break for college soccer.
You said Chicagoland. Get specific. Where'd you grow up and where are you from?
So I grew up in Willowbrook, and I skated out of Glen Ellen Speed Skating Club.
That is awesome. What was it about speed skating that made you fall in love with it? Whenever I watch it, I just think how difficult that would be. The whole thing. Just... You know, you speed skaters and swimmers, I'm like, gosh, I don't think I could ever do that in terms of endurance.
So I give my kudos to the swimmers. So I have to admit, I'm not the world's best swimmer, but for skating, I just love the speed aspect and the competitiveness. You know, you're kind of like NASCAR, where you get to go as fast as you possibly can and you're trying to win. And so you kind of get both of it, where you get to go fast, you get to feel the wind on your face, and then you get to race. And there's nothing really better than that.
Okay, so as a kid, I'm just curious because I could imagine you get going really quick. Were you just a very brave child? Because do you ever hit that point when you're going so fast on the ice that your brain says, I could slip here? Or are you just confident and strong and go?
Oh, no, there are those moments. I would say when I was younger, for sure, I did not have any fear. I would hit corners. No fear at all. As you get older and as you've had 10 surgeries, you definitely have that fear complex. I always say you don't know how fast you're going until it's going wrong. So you definitely have those days where you don't know if you're going to hold up in the corner, but you kind of just got to trust it. And if you feel like you're falling, you're probably going pretty fast. So you kind of have to learn to live on that edge. But we definitely still do have the fear complex. I think most skaters do.
It's probably a good instinct of self-preservation to have a little bit of that fear factor going, right? We are taking a look at some video of your rehab. You mentioned 10 surgeries. I understand you had a torn ACL at one point, or perhaps multiple. Can you give us an idea of just how much health adversity you have had to overcome in order to make this team, and kind of what the emotions are having reached this the point in your career?
Yeah, so like I said, 10 surgeries, 2 ACLs, and 7 knee scopes outside of that, and then 1 ankle surgery. And those happened throughout the career, mostly during soccer, but unfortunately last season I did have 4 surgeries, 3 knee surgeries, and 1 ankle. And so totaling 10 definitely was not how I planned my pre-Olympic year, but I had a great support system around me. I've talked about it a bunch with my family, my coach, and the team that supported me to making this dream come true. And so the emotions, it's just gratefulness, it's thankfulness, you know, those days where you see the training, the rehab, I mean, I'm walking backwards and we're happy about it. So you really have to break it down and you have to take the little victories, because the eyes were always on the prize of making this Olympic team. And no matter how bleak it seemed at times or how dim the light at the end of the tunnel was, everyone around me never wavered in their belief. And so even on the hard days, they kind of pushed me through, and you just wake up and you try again the next day. So the emotion is always worth it. All the hard work, all the hard mornings, and all the time that everyone else put in, and the sacrifices they made to get me here, it all made it worth it when I crossed that line.
So as an athlete, I'm just curious, when you have these surgeries and these issues, is it something that happens like one time, like, ooh, that was you fell and you hurt yourself, now you're having issues, or is it more of like a wear and tear because of how much you train?
The ACL was obviously a one-time. After that, most of the soccer injuries were a one-time injury, and then we had to fix something, whether it be cartilage or meniscus. For skating, the ankle was a buildup over the season, and we ended up having to go in and take a bone out that continued to grow. But the knees, after you have 5 knee surgeries, it's more wear and tear. The last surgery I had last season was a meniscus. My device failed in my knee that repaired it. And so that was a one and done. I was actually just walking after a training session and it just snapped back on me. And I kind of knew in that moment. So it kind of depends on the surgery. The only big ones where you're like, that was an ACL, were the ACLs. Other than that, a meniscus here and there, you feel it happen, and hopefully you can push through it, but depending on the tear, we had to go in and fix it.
Wow. It's remarkable that you have overcome all this, and you're on the Olympic team, Winter Olympics closing in here. Give us an idea, Sarah, of kind of what the next weeks and months look like for you now that you're on the team. What's this training going to look like? Are you going to be traveling a lot?
Actually, I leave today. So we have a World Cup in Germany, in Zoll to be specific. So we have to finish our World Cup season. And then we're actually taking a bus from Germany to Milan. And as soon as we get there, we get team processing, we get to move into the village, and then the whole Olympic dream starts. So the journey to Milan starts today. Even though we're a little bit farther out, we're going to get a competition in first, and then we have to go live out the dream. And we're training, you're trying to make sure you're as ready as you can be when you step on that line at the games. So every day we're working towards that, but really just trying to enjoy the moment and taking all the memories, because obviously dreamed of this since I was a little girl.
Oh, yeah.
So the team, I can imagine you guys are all quite close. Is that true? Because you spend so much time together?
Absolutely. And it's a weird sport in that sense, because obviously we're racing the people next to us and we're racing our teammates, but we are all so close. We're in practice, you're helping the person in front of you, you're giving technical cues. It's really a sport where iron sharpens iron. Like the person next to you gets better, you get better. You guys, you compete all day at practice, but they're also my best friends. And so road trips are amazing. We love card games. We play them all the time. And so it's a family. And I have always said that as you travel the world, you experience these extremely stressful situations together. You create this bond that is unbreakable and unlike anything else. So it is truly a family. We have such a tight group, and we're really excited to cheer each other on at the games.
Nice. Okay, let's talk about the events. Which event or events do you have your sights set on? And then another question I have is, I mean, you were talking about injuries. If something unexpected happens at the games themselves, I'm guessing.
Qualified in the 500 meters, so that's our shortest sprint. It's the sprintiest of sprints, so that it is one and done at the games too. And most competitions you have 2, because obviously things can go wrong, and so they allow you to have 2. But the games, it's one and done. You kind of got to bring it. So we don't plan on anything bad happening. Obviously, you want to make sure everyone stays healthy, and we have such a good team around us to make sure that happens. But we're always ready. People are ready to step up where they need to step up. And we have such a strong team that no matter who fills in, we will absolutely bring it.
Sarah, I've got a question for you. We're talking about superstitions, especially when it comes to sports. Do you have any yourself? Do you have any good ones that we can maybe like adopt?
Oh, yes. So I wear the same necklace every day. Every time I race, it's a wave. It's kind of hard to see.
Yeah, we can see it.
So after my first ACL, I got a very small tattoo of a wave, just because, I knew it was going to be a journey. And it's kind of like life's a wave. You just kind of got to ride it up and down. You got to take what comes at you.
Yeah.
And so I wear it every time on the line. And I touch it before I go to the line to remind myself of the journey and just to be thankful that I actually can step on the line and compete. Another one is I paint my nails. And so they match my skates. So I do different designs, but I always have the nails race ready. It's kind of what I do. So besides those 2 things, I try not to, because you can't really control too much, but always got the nails ready and always got my necklace on.
Get the nails ready, get the necklace. We will be cheering you on stateside. Have such an amazing journey. This is such a treat to be able to catch you on the day you're leaving.
I know.
I know. Thank you guys so much. This is such an honor, and obviously such a great time to represent the USA on the biggest stage.
Oh my gosh, go USA. Sarah, Warren, congrats to you. We will be following your journey. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a good day.
Bye.
Thank you for asking that question at the end. Those are the most fascinating details to me as a journalist, as a storyteller, when I watch the Olympics. You know how they do those little pre-segments, to get to know the athletes a little bit. It's those details. And that's cool. I'm gonna now when we watch her, we're gonna see the necklace, and then we're gonna look at what she's doing with the nails.
That's my question to you is, will you paint your nails?
If it means good luck, I've never painted them, so.
It might be what we need as a city. For you to
it's so funny. I love how Caleb Williams takes so much flack for painting his nails. You know what I mean? It's not the most masculine thing to do. He just owns it. I remember he got called out by a rapper or something. It was a Green Bay fan. Like, we just lost. Who was it? Lil Wayne. He posted on X. We just lost to a guy who paints his nail, and Williams responds back just with the Iceman logo and like "Go Bears." Like,
I saw this video too, and it said the matcha was drank, the earbuds had wires, and the nails were painted.
Yes.
Like getting ready for the game.
Hey,
he just does him.
Exactly.
And I love it.
No, exactly.
Maybe that's our secret sauce. We got to get some nails done. I'd like to get my nails done.
There you go.
You know?
I mean, did you see hers? They were long and pointy.
Beautiful.
It looked like they were long and pointy.
She was ready.
Don't mess with her. My dad has an older sister who used to get in fights in high school in Northwest Indiana. This is like back in the 50s and 60s. She used to cut notches in her nails, like V's in her nails so that she could. Isn't that wild?
This is your aunt?
Yeah. This is back in high school.
These days?
She's the most loving, docile.
Sure.
But in high school, you didn't want to mess with her.
Holy smokes.
True story.
Wow.
Well, we are going to talk about AI when we get back, but not again, the dangers of AI.
Yeah.
This is cool because AI, we interviewed this pastor on Good Day today. Did you see that interview?
No.
It was check it out. It's posted right now. This guy, he wrote the lyrics to a Bears song after they beat the Packers and then had AI. It was actually kind of amazing. Because it sounded like, I know. It's a little scary in that, but at the same time, we're going to talk about how it is giving Bears fans a whole new way to celebrate with content creation. We're going to talk about that and how Bears fans are already using this stuff when we come back after this.
I was driving.
And AI is taking the world by storm, which before we get into this interview, it can be super fun to use AI. I was just talking about how it sometimes can help you out in the most amazing ways. But I have seen a trend on social media of little kids with this like dance routine, and it looks cute. But I would just encourage you, if you haven't done it and you've considered doing it, don't do it, because then AI has your kid's picture.
Oh, their likeness.
Making them dance, and it's just...
Oh, yeah.
I don't like that. I don't like that. But anyways, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about AI and the Bears.
That's not what but that's not important right now.
We're talking about the Bears. The Bears. Okay, so I guess AI is allowing Bears fans to put themselves on the field, making memes or just creating pictures and videos that truly capture the spirit of Chicago. Now, don't get me wrong. I said don't put your kids in things. Put yourself in things. Put your spouse in things. Put your parents. It's fun. So we're learning how you can get in on this fun with Jason Urquis. He's an AI coach, trainer, and lifelong Chicago Bears fan. Good morning to you, Jason.
You both.
What did you say? Excuse me.
He cut off. I think
I do both.
Yeah.
Oh.
I do us both.
Oh. I do you both. Got it. Okay. So let's talk about how you got in on AI, because my goodness, this is the future.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, as the playoffs have been progressing and the season progressed, I wanted to find a fun way to kind of share my excitement about what was happening. And I started posting pictures, whether it was excitement in the stands, me high-fiving Caleb Williams on the field, or tackling one of the receivers in the end zone that missed a critical catch, or recently on a stretcher going to the emergency room after the stress that the last 5 minutes of each game have put us through. So,
oh, that's wild. I mean, it looks so. I mean, you can tell it's AI, but there you are. You look like you're a punter or kicker in that one right there. These are
nobody wants to
cool.
give me the ball.
All right, so what are the ways, first of all, that folks are using this? Are they using them for still images like we're seeing here of yourself in many different Bears-related situations, or are they going beyond still images?
I think there's every step of the chain there. You can start with a still image, as you just taking out your phone, uploading a photo into ChatGPT and writing a sentence about the outcome that you're looking for, or going a little more sophisticated, going for that locker room tour, taking selfies, with the different players in the locker room. I think you're seeing everything from the novice that wants to post a photo, making a picture of Ben Johnson in his Ted Lasso era, or making more sophisticated videos. And any way you do it, it's adding excitement and fun, and it gives you some fresh content to share on social media.
Okay, so Jason, maybe someone doesn't have the ChatGPT down yet. So you download the app, and then you upload your photo, as you mentioned. And what kind of prompts should you give ChatGPT to get some of these really amazing images that you've been showing us?
Sure, Caitlin. The prompt can be as simple as show this subject suited up in a Bears uniform on the sideline of Soldier Field, looking excited, looking angry, or just cheering the team on, or as sophisticated as uploading a photo of a player and say, show this subject with the player high-fiving, hugging, or doing whatever. The days of posting a selfie with a jersey with someone else's name on the back are long gone. Now you can insert yourself into the narrative and yourself into the story.
Are there any legal considerations to be aware of? Caitlin kind of alluded to the fact that if your kids do this, all of a sudden their likeness is kind of, I don't know, taken by AI, or just
machine.
Yeah, in the AI machine. We'll call it the Matrix. What considerations do you kind of need to keep in mind on that front?
I think it's important to represent that it is AI when you're posting it. I try to use a hashtag, or, say, look what AI can do. I think it's, critically important that people recognize and realize that it's not something that's real. From a legal standpoint, content that is on the internet, you can take, you can use, you can repurpose. And, I just think you want to be careful with what you show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, so looking forward to this game, how do you feel like AI is going to help get those Bears fans excited and pumped? We were talking before this interview started about, we've seen these funny videos that are not real of Ben Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
Punching
Matt LaFleur.
And, I just think it's helping to get this momentum going with all the energy in our city and beyond. How do you feel like AI is impacting the fans?
Social media and AI are really adding fuel to the fire, right? It's getting people pumped up. I tend to post more positive things, but this is certainly giving the hecklers that are out there a way to take the Packers or the Rams and make some funny interactions between teammates and fans. But I'm keeping things positive and trying to show my support for the team. And, I think across social media, every time I post something, someone's like, hey, wait, how did you do that? And I think that makes it exciting, and helps it spread a little bit.
I am, with this whole AI thing, reminded of, I was one of the last folks in my friend group to get a cell phone. This was like back in the early 2000s. I was like one of the big holdouts for a cell phone. I'm pretty much late on all technology. I actually feel like I'm kind of middle of the pack on use of ChatGPT. I've been using it more and more kind of in my daily life. Where do you think we are with this, Jason? Have we crossed the Rubicon, or whatever the phrase is? Like, are most adults pretty well versed in ChatGPT, or are there still people who have just, like, you know, they hear about it, oh, AI, but they haven't tried it yet? Or have most people kind of gotten on board?
I think people are on board, but they're barely scratching the surface on what AI can do. If you're a writer, you might be using it to give you some ideas on what to write or to proofread something. You know, you might have it help you do a business strategy for something. But I think people are really just scratching the surface on all the capabilities of what it can do. But more and more people are getting on board, opening a ChatGPT account or a Claude or a Grok account, or using Perplexity and figuring out, I can create an image, I can write a song, as you said that pastor did. I can not only write the song, but I can have the song recorded and ready to post within minutes. There's just some really cool things that people can do to celebrate life and celebrate something like this Bears playoff season in real time.
So Jason, before we let you go, you just listed quite a few different AI ways that we can make different things, platforms. How can we find out what platform can do what?
They can all do pretty much the same thing. Some are better at doing things than others. I equate it sometimes to having an iPhone or having an Android. You know, they can do the same things. One might be better at taking pictures or videos. One might be better, you know, for texting or emailing or for doing data processing. So you can do the things we're talking about in any one of those platforms. And before we go, I have a video, hopefully they have queued up, of the two of you that I'd love to show.
Okay, let's check it out.
See, no, maybe.
Okay,
The control room is going nuts. Like, wait, we don't have that ready.
The control room's like, oh no!
They're working on it back there.
Which you'll get to see later.
Oh, now I'm scared.
What's that?
Now I'm scared. You know what we'll do? We'll post it.
I'm painting your nails.
Maybe it's either you're painting my nails or I had an injury. A during show injury that needed to be addressed. Well, no, a wound. All right, now you got us all curious.
Now we're very intrigued.
All right, Jason. Before we go, for folks who have just not even dipped their toes in yet, what's the first step here? Is it a ChatGPT? Just go to the website and start experimenting.
Absolutely. Download ChatGPT on your phone. Go to the bottom prompt. There'll be a plus sign. Add a photo of yourself and write what you want to see yourself doing. It's as simple as that.
So much fun. All right. Jason Erkes, bear down, sir. Go Bears.
Bear down, guys. Thank you very much.
And we will be following along your social media to see exactly how you celebrate this, hopefully win.
Hopefully we're all celebrating.
With some fun AI-generated content. Jason Erkes, everybody. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, guys.
Have you dabbled at all with the image creation stuff?
Yes, especially with like home decor. Because I have a hard time like imagining what different things would look like. For example, you probably heard me and Natalie Gavin on the commercial breaks about curtains.
Yeah.
And then I showed her a picture.
Yeah, I tuned out pretty quickly, but
no, seriously. It was a ChatGPT image that I had uploaded, so I took a picture of my living room. I uploaded that picture with the picture of the curtains that were my inspo, and I said, put these curtains in my living room, and it gives you an image that looks exactly as it should.
Like you're in your exact, it retrofits it onto your exact like living room layout.
Yeah, and you could do that with anything. You could probably do it with makeup, with clothing.
Hairstyles. I've done it with hair, I've just messed around with it with hairstyles. Like, hey, what would I look like with like really long hair?
Exteriors of your homes, but also, giving advice too. What was I was asking it for, I was asking it about the curtains again, you guys, I'm obsessed. Should I use this or should I use this? And when I tell you ChatGPT gave me like this description, it was like a chapter out of a book about why I should choose what I did and like the description of why it would look better than something else. It really is phenomenal, and it speaks to you, types to you like a person.
I know.
Like, oh, are we friends?
I don't know whether to be excited or scared. It's a combination of both.
Yesterday I was calling customer service and I couldn't tell if the voice on the phone was AI or not.
Oh, yeah.
And I was super embarrassed. I was like, this is the craziest AI voice I've ever heard. I put it on speaker. I'm like,
Caitlin and I are real.
Real.
You're
yeah,
real.
You were bleeding
here.
on TV.
I was. Yeah, that's not something an
we're
AI can
real.
do. Exactly. I got Band-Aids here and everything. So
Yep.
take our word for it.
We'll see
You're
what
real.
that video was, by the way. We'll keep you guys posted.
All right, everybody. That does it for me and Caitlin. But Gabby and Tia are waiting in the wings for another hour of Chicago Now right after this.
Welcome to the 11 o'clock hour, Chicago Now. Bear down. We have our orange on.
Yes, we do. We came ready because we know the Bears are going to beat the Rams. They're going to send them back to LA packing. And we know they're going to win the Super Bowl. So, I mean, you may as well get your orange and blue out now.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
January 12th, 1986. The Bears beat the Rams 24-0 to go to the Super Bowl, to advance to the Super Bowl.
Wow, almost.
Is it destiny?
Almost.
Is it destiny?
I think it's a done deal. Honestly,
I hope
felt good about this season. I've talked about it on this show relentlessly. I'm sure people are sick of hearing me say it, but yeah, I think that. Are we playing trickery with the cameras?
I don't know. It's like a strobe light over here.
Yeah, I think that it is a done deal. I think the Bears are going to go to the Super Bowl. Hey, this team has worked hard. They got to just figure out how not to wait until the fourth quarter to perform.
Yeah.
Because that can really mess you up. That could go left.
Can we do this for 4 quarters? Can we be on top of 4 quarters?
They need to start out the gate doing well. I think if they move that energy from the fourth quarter up to the first quarter and let it ride to the second quarter, I think they got something.
And I don't know if we've really even seen them do that all season, right?
So I mean,
haven't seen them sustain that all season. Anyway, we're going to be talking with Mark Carman here in a second with the CHGO podcast. But I heard, so you're getting back into working out. You're doing 2 days a week, you said, with a trainer all to yourself?
My goal here is, and my trainer is a UFC fighter, so this is really good training.
Okay.
But my goal here, and I don't know if this is feasible, I was thinking today, what would I want to accomplish? What would, like, you know, being able to say I got healthy look like for me? Because everybody has their own goals.
100%.
And for me, okay, they're telling me to fix my hair. For me, my goal, it's a lot of hair. It's hard to fix when you got all these extensions in your head. But for me, my goal would be to lose about, I would say, 4 pounds a week.
But you also got to understand.
I've been told.
But you also got to understand that you're like, you know, what you don't want is going to turn into muscle, and so muscle's heavier than fat. So
it
you know,
may not look like it on the.
I would base it. I have not weighed myself probably in 8 months. I just base it off how my clothes feel.
I only base it off my clothes feel.
That's nice.
That's a good way to do it.
gotta get down. I think once I hit a certain number on that scale, then I'll get there. But I'm not there yet. You know what I mean?
But you're starting out really well doing the TRX workouts,
well, we
right?
did a whole little routine today. So we did bench. We were doing bench press, all this other stuff I don't even know.
Okay, so weight training and
Yes.
and kind of like
jumping,
body weight training
a lot of
too.
squats, a lot of running. We were doing sprints today.
Oh, okay.
And TRX, yeah, which is your own body weight that you're, putting to the test. So yeah, I'm starting off good. My biggest challenge is I love things that are buttery, sweet, flaky.
Oh, girl, we all do.
Donuts, bread, and it's. Yeah,
Oh, we're getting literally an audience
It's hard
applause.
to stay away. I mean, it's like the good stuff does not taste as good as the bad stuff. Like, I don't care what you do, it just doesn't taste
Literally
the
what
same.
I told Brendan the other day, I was like, why does bad food taste so good?
It's
so
addictive,
good.
man.
So good.
It's addictive, but I think if I can just figure out what I need is like replacements for some of that stuff.
Yeah.
And I think
well, just getting the routine. Honestly, luckily I'm kind of a hyperfixation meal kind of person, so I'll pick like a healthy hyperfixation meal and I'll just kind of continue to eat that. I don't know how it's going to be. Well, I don't know how it's going to be when I have like a full family one day.
Yeah.
You know, like no one's going to want to eat like the same like
Yeah, you'll
egg
have to
dish
figure
every
it
day.
out.
I don't know.
You'll get there. You'll figure it out. Okay, let's talk about what we have coming up on our show. Musician Alley Cat is playing in Chicago today, and tomorrow she's joining us in studio with a preview. And, of course, we're also talking about some fun trending stories like online theories about the Bears winning the Super Bowl and how fans are planning their celebrations already. I think if they win this time, I'm going to do something crazy. I just don't know what it is.
We should figure it out by the end of the show.
I'll figure it out. I think I'll wear my Bears get-up to work on Monday. That's what I'm
early.
Yeah, that costume. But first, we're getting a preview of Sunday's game against the Rams, and Mark Carman from the CHGO Sports podcast is with us right now. Thank you so much for your time.
Mark, did you hear my little history lesson for people? January 12th, 1986, the Bears beat the Rams 24-0 to advance to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I was 13 years old. It was one of the greatest moments of my life at that point. Wilbur Marshall picking the ball up in the snow, rolling in for a touchdown, and Jim McMahon, Walter Payton, William Perry. We can do the Super Bowl shuffle right now if you want. I mean, that was my childhood. There was a young Michael Jordan in town at the time. It was a great time to be a Chicago sports fan, but we're moving back in a good direction, guys. Good to see you.
Good to see
you too, Mark.
What do you think, because I'm sure you heard me kind of talk about this, for me as a fan, they call them the cardiac bear sometimes, and it's been kind of like the theme this season because they get all the way to the fourth quarter and you're like, they're going to lose this, and then they come back. Do you think that, I don't think it's a strategy, I think it's just how they've been playing. Do you think they can pull that off this time and be able to win? Mark?
I would be highly skeptical. Can you hear me, guys? I hope
yes,
you can.
We hear you. We hear you.
Yeah, I'm at Hallis Hall here getting ready for Ben Johnson, so I apologize. We're in a little bit of a bounce situation. Hopefully it holds. But listen, they cannot do that this week against the Rams. The Rams are too good. If you go into the fourth quarter or you go into the second half down 21-3 again, their special teams are not great, so maybe you'll get some missed field goals like you got last week and the extra points, the whole thing that benefited the Bears, and ultimately the incredible fourth quarter play, of course, was you wouldn't think you can do this the rest of the way, but if they do, don't rule them out.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, Tia and I were just saying how we really haven't seen them hold on to this really strong lead, play how they do in that fourth quarter for an entire game this season, have we?
Offensively, 2 games ago against San Francisco, they actually were the most consistent they'd been all season long. They scored in every quarter against the 49ers. They put up 38 points, and it was from the get-go.
We're having some trouble there with Mark.
So, unfortunately on that, defense wasn't there. Guys, I'm going to flip over to my phone and try something a little different.
Okay, go ahead. We'll be waiting for you. In the meantime, we'll talk amongst ourselves. One thing I was looking at, it's been a lot of speculation about Matthew Stafford, coming back and all of that stuff from his injury. And the fact that now it's being said that he's going to wear this scuba suit under his uniform.
Oh, I have not heard that yet.
Yeah, Tom Brady has done it, did it in the past too. So I think, if if he's that concerned about the cold, I think that there's something to it. I know that, you know, when you're on an NFL team, you travel to places and you play in cold weather, but this coming Sunday is supposed to be one of the coldest days that we've had in a very long time. I think, honestly, that could play in our favor. I really do believe that.
I really do. I think so, too, and especially with the advantage that Bears have playing outside or practicing outside this week. You know, I think I read an article where McVay said that he was going to make him go into a cold plunge, you know, a couple times to hopefully acclimate their body a bit. But, I mean, that's really all that they could do. And yeah, you're right. Like, I really think it's going to be to our advantage. Matthew Stafford, yes, he's played for the Lions, you know, for years and years, and he went to places like Green Bay. He went to places like, you know, Soldier Field and played outside. But, you know, he's getting a little older. He has that little finger injury. I don't know. Hopefully it's going to work out where it does really play games with him, and hopefully his head with all this talk beforehand.
What do you make of that, Mark? We have you back there. What do you make of it? Do you think we could be worried about him or not?
Yeah, no, we should definitely be worried about Matthew Stafford, but I do like the fact that you might as well just call him old and unathletic.
Curmudgeon.
Yeah, he's probably bored. He doesn't even want to play in this game. So, look, the guy led the league in passing yardage. He led the league in yards per game. He led the league in touchdown passes. He's going to be the MVP. He's a problem. All these things. And, you know, the Bears know him incredibly well. He's with Detroit forever. And they saw him last year and actually beat the Rams in a day that the Rams were, you know, they were missing a lot of their best players that day. But, I mean, people forget the Bears beat the Rams last year to get to 2-2 at the start of a 3-game winning streak before the season went awry. So, you know, look, this is a challenge for the Bears to get to the quarterback, which is something they haven't done all season long. I do think they match up a little bit better with their wide receivers this week. It's not as much speed with the Rams. It's more of a physical wide receiver, if you will, Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. So perhaps they can cover a little bit better. But you can't run away with it. Matthew Stafford's a big-time challenge.
Yeah, and Devontae Adams had played his time in Green Bay, too, so he knows the cold.
I want you to finish this sentence for us, Mark. The Bears will win if...
Oof. Well, okay, I'll keep it simple. The Bears will win if they get their running game going. I think if you get, let's be on the high side. Let's go to 150 yards combined with Kyle Monangai and DeAndre Swift. If they do that, that would set up, you know, the entire game plan. Really, you would think that the passing game can go from there. The defense is not on the field as much. The Bears are capable of doing this. Plus, you know, you guys mentioned the weather, which is going to be, I think, a huge factor in this game. Let's get some wind going on here. Dial it up, Mike Kaplan. Let's, you know, whatever the weather gods can create here for the Bears, they could use it, because the worse the conditions, the better off for the Bears. But I'd lead into the running game.
Speaking of kickers, you know, like Cairo Santos, he's been money. He's done really well. How about the Rams kicker? I mean, he's done pretty good. I feel like his stats were, you know, not too short.
Well, listen, they've had blocked field goals, they've had blocked punts. The Rams special teams have been horrible. They fired their special teams coordinator in the middle of the season. They're averaging, I think it's 16 yards per punt return, which is so, you know, that's an enormous number. It's, you know, bottom in the league. You know, they would have won last week's, or well, they would have been in a lot better position to end Carolina earlier last week if their special teams had performed. So this is actually an edge for the Bears. Cairo's been amazing. Devin Duvernay has been solid all season long, but he was borderline spectacular last week. He set him up for huge games, in huge moments this year, is what I'm trying to say. Against Minnesota, he had a 56-yard return that put the Bears in position to win the game. So I do actually think they have an edge on special teams. And, you know, listen, in a playoff game, it could come down to that. You never know.
I'm curious, in your opinion, once the Bears beat the Rams, would they be in a better matchup with the 49ers or the Seahawks?
You don't want to go to Seattle. That defense is incredibly tough. That fan base, the 12s playing out there, that'd be a an increased level of difficulty. You'd be home with San Francisco. You played the Niners. The Niners just lost George Kittle, which is a huge loss for them. Although he didn't play against the Bears, but still a big time player. So look, the Niners are the biggest underdog this weekend. They're a 7-point underdog to Seattle. I would expect the Seahawks to win that game. But if it went San Francisco's way, the Bears would be at home against a familiar opponent. So root for the 49ers. That's a good way to start your weekend.
Okay, there you go. Mark, we were listening to parts of interviews this week, and I remember Montez Sweat saying how much fun he's having. How great of energy there is with the team. How do you guys feel in the media, even being around Hallis Hall and these players and these coaches? What's it like this year?
This is the greatest experience in Bears media coverage that I've ever had. It's the level of change, you can't understate it. First of all, listening to Ben Johnson and his energy and his rationale and his transparency, that is completely different than the Matt Eberflus experience. Also, the competency is huge. I will say this, though, the Bears locker room the last couple of years has been a fun place to be. But when they're winning, it wasn't a fun place to be at this time of the year. People were looking to get out of here, but it's different now.
If you had to say there's a player that maybe, isn't considered to be like this huge name on the team that we should be looking out for come this Sunday, who would you say we should be looking out for, maybe on the Rams side and also on the Bears side?
So let me shout out my guy Daniel Hardy, who leads the Bears special teams and tackles, and he's also been put in the fullback position, number 92. I'm a big Daniel Hardy fan, and he's really a guy that will, whatever role they put him in, he's done his very best to succeed. So that's a guy that I'm going to look. Maybe he could force a fumble on special teams at some point Sunday evening. That's one. For the Rams, let's think about this. Outside of, I'm just going to go with the chalk here. The Bears have to control Puka Nacua, and it really, Dennis Allen, when he was with the Saints, first time he saw Puka, the guy went for, I think it was 165 yards, somewhere in that range. If you're noticing Nacua all over Soldier Field on Sunday night, that's a big time problem. So when Stafford's the guy, but that's his number one target, and it'll be interesting to see how the Bears cover him. I'm assuming they won't have one cornerback just following him around, but maybe they will. We'll see. But that's and their tight ends are huge too, as we're seeing touchdown passes right there. So but Nakua's the guy.
Love it.
Yeah.
It's good information.
All right, predictions, guys. Yeah. Predictions for Sunday. Predictions. Can we say it? Are you comfortable with that, Mark? Some people aren't comfortable with giving predictions.
No. This is the toy department. We're allowed to make predictions. None of this is real. So, last week I had the Bears 31-30. So let's just get that on the record. My number was correct. So this week, let's go with 24-23 Bears. 24-23 Bears. How's that?
Okay. 1 point, yeah. I say 27-26 Bears. I think it's going to be the last person with the ball is gonna score, and I think that's going to be the person who wins the game.
I can hear it now. All the horns in the streets, people running out of their houses. I can't. It's almost like a flashback to when the Bulls kept winning when I was a kid. I remember that like it was yesterday. I could hear it right now. Do you hear that? Do you hear the car horns and people cheering? This is going to be great. We're winning this thing.
I didn't hear your prediction.
I don't have one. I'm just going to say that I personally think the Bears will win by a field goal. That's my prediction. Okay. I got nothing else in terms of the numbers. Okay. That's my prediction with it.
Cairo Santos better be ready.
For the record, I got a citation for incessant honking in the rough and tumble Highland Park neighborhood when the Bulls won the championship in 1991.
Did you really?
Yes, incessant. It was like we didn't know what to do. I was in high school, so all we were doing was driving down Ridge Road and honking the horn, and we got pulled over. You can't do that. I'm like, the Bulls just won the world championship.
You can blow your horn. Come on.
Yeah, what do you mean? There's no rules anymore. That's funny because at the end of the show, Mark, we're going to be talking about like hypotheticals. If the Bears win the Super Bowl, like how crazy the city will be able to go. Like there needs to be a wipe of some rules.
Is there something you will do if the Bears win the Super Bowl? Something you would be willing to give up, do something dramatic, crazy?
Let me think about that for a week.
I got
if they
something.
get through this, if they get through Sunday, we'll come up with something. How's that?
Okay, we got it, Mark. All right.
I'm gonna jump in my pool. That's
You're gonna jump in your pool
in the cold.
In the cold. Okay, in your little Bears outfit too. Mark Carman, we know that you often contribute here to Fox Chicago, so we appreciate your time. We know you had a great conversation with Mike Kaplan this morning. We appreciate you here now on Chicago Now.
Yes, we do. Thank you so much. Go Bears. All right,
Thanks,
coming up.
Thanks, Gabby. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you. All right, after this break, we are talking to Chicago's very own D-Ray Davis. You already know the name. You know who he is. He'll be sitting right here with us to talk about his show that he has coming up from tonight through the weekend. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hey, you wanted me to look at your friend.
Welcome back to Chicago Now. Born and raised on the south side of Chicago, we have D-Ray Davis. And I remember the last time I talked to you, this has been some years ago, but we talked about you working the Wendy's drive-thru. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I definitely do. I remember working at Wendy's? Because,
Here's something that I don't think we got to talk about. I remember you talking about, like, kids would come through the drive-thru on their bike and, like, order and be annoying. I was one of those kids.
On 111th,
yes,
I did it.
Yes,
oh, man.
That's where I live.
But you're allowed to do that, right?
No.
On your bike? No, it's a drive-thru. That ain't a bike-thru.
Guys, you're driving the bike through.
You're riding a bike through.
We were terrorists, though. It was a whole different vibe.
So, anyway, do you drink or eat soup? I need to ask you.
That's true. Okay.
I need to ask you because you said drive-thru.
You eat. Yeah, I eat soup, right?
And I also
Is that a wrong answer? No, right.
I don't see.
Okay.
Did I also tell you? I don't know if I told you the story. Did I say the guy ran in and he ate 4 ketchups?
No. I don't remember.
Me.
Was that one of your friends?
No, but I remember like us talking about Wendy's because I lived not too far from there. I used to ride my bike.
It was probably
what happened in that?
No,
that wasn't.
This guy runs in. He's outside the window and he's just looking through the window for a while and he's just like eyeing the spot. I'm like, I don't think it's a robbery. I'm like, it's not. He's just like it's daytime. He's just looking in, and I turn back and he runs in, grabs 4 ketchups, eats them. Eats the ketchup, then takes a creamer to run it like as a creamer bag.
That's like a wild animal.
It ran out, and I was like, yo, and all I could think about was I need to try my best to be successful because I do not want to have to run into places. And he not say, you know what I'm saying, they have to eat ketchup. I was like, I need to really focus because I was wondering, was it delicious? I was wondering, like, how do you choose this? But yeah, a lot of things happened at that Wendy's.
How did you transition from that to taking on some of the biggest stages that we've seen in comedy.
Well, I always worked, and I think if you think about like fast food, regardless of the fact, when you watch those videos, like those people are so entertaining and so funny. You're always like, look at this dude who can sing at Popeyes, or look at the internet gives such a platform for people to showcase their talent, and we didn't have it then, but we still had that energy of. You always knew, like, in the group of who would be funny, and I think it kept moving from, like, fast food, and then I was working in clothing stores. It was just interacting with people, and then I went on Meritech. I worked for the phone company.
Wow.
I was an information operator. I was an information, even though we don't have it no more. We don't even have it. Yeah, people would call, and we had the little recording, Davis City and State, Davis City and State. I think I got annoyed because some people just didn't know what they wanted. Like they're calling, there's like, you know, certain people are friends of ours. I want to get to I don't want to take us back no steps, but the people that call and say this. Hey, I'm trying to find that food place. It's right next to Dave's house. And you like, who is Dave? I'm like, we in a room full of all operators. He's like, Dave, man. Dave who got the red car. And I'm sitting there like, bro, I do not know who you are, But yeah, I did information operating, and then I've always did some other things, and I was just outside, man, and trying to figure it out. But I think I always felt compelled to be funny in the weirdest situations. And what weird place than stand in front of people and try to make them laugh when they don't even know who you are for the moment or anything like that. So I think, yeah, it was always in me to do stuff like that. And then I walked in a comedy club south side of Chicago, saw it and fell in love with it. Had never seen comedy on TV. Had never had a comedian, had never watched Richard Pryor, had never even knew what Def Comedy Jam was. I didn't have no cable.
And
my uncle was a bartender at a comedy club, and I walked in and saw a comic on stage. His name was Shay Shay. And then Damon Williams went up, and I went to my uncle and said, what is this? What is this? He said, it's stand-up comedy, Boots, it's stand-up comedy. And I said, I could do this. And he said, get the hell out of here. Can I say that?
Yes, you can say that.
Get the hell out of here. And then I talked to Damon, and that was it. I can't remember everything step by step, but it was, you know, I knew this was something I wanted to be part of for the rest of my career.
And here you are.
You do so many things. Comedy, acting, singing too, right? Am I correct?
Don't put him singing and they're like, no,
we need to.
Come on, man.
We need to.
No, I do okay. Like, I don't know if I'll be able to pull off a complete Broadway play, because I have sisters who sing.
Can we hear it? Let's hear it.
I can't sing that good. Maybe at
Put you right on the...
Oh,
I'm medium.
Okay.
I'm medium.
Light eyes helps.
The light, look at my eyes. Don't listen to my voice. Just stay in the green eyes. Which right now a little blurry on this side. I need to go to the doctor. Elbow accident by myself.
Really?
Yeah.
How the heck did you...
elbow
accident? My elbow.
Yeah, right.
I was literally. I went like this, and my eye was like, I was like, that's weird. But
people come up with all these excuses, huh? Tia?
I have to ask you this because you kind of had the internet on fire.
Did I?
With your relationships. Are you still with two women, or?
Well, I thought this was about my comedy show. I thought this was about my comedy show.
I told you, we have a lot of time.
Oh, yeah, too much time. Well, we're going to wrap it up. I think that in the climate of today, that the way that people are, like, just, I mean, it's not what it felt like back then when people were, like, I can't explain it. Like, everything now feels exploitive, and everything doesn't feel like love or caring or explanations. And I think that if you are in a situation where you're comfortable, you know, then there's no reason. You don't talk about nothing else you're comfortable about that may seem, you know what I mean? So I'm not. Yeah. I just didn't answer your question, did I?
No, you did. You answered it lightly, but you answered it.
Yeah, I just don't want. It's always taken as regardless of. And by the way, this was not started by me.
No,
I don't mean no. I don't mean
of course it wasn't.
No, I don't mean like from the beginning of time. No. I meant like even the perception, because I never said it first. People would see me. I'll be my sister's friends. It's like 4 or 5 girls. They'd be like, "Oh, D-Ray's with girls all the time." But D-Ray, then it became the other thing, which we're not gonna get into. But people, the assumption that maybe he is one of the girls. So I'm like, you know, what the hell? You got too many girlfriends, not me. So it's like, you know, but I never got into none of that. And then when I just always wanted to be as honest as I could be, because I would watch my friends lie. I've had situations when I was young where you make a mistake and you try to lie about it, and women are so the intuition is real.
Yeah.
Men at home don't think it's not real.
Really,
if they get an inkling, and it led to cars being keyed and stuff like that. And I was like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, and I don't want to dog my man out, who's a great He's not a friend, but if Flavor Flav can have a show where 20 women are arguing over him, I know he's a great artist, but if Flavor Flav can have a show where 20 women are, I'm just saying, I'm not saying that, I'm just saying maybe I could maybe I could, participate in having people care about me and know the truths rather than it be, I got to creep around or sneak around. And I think that when you do that in any part of your life, you're not being honest to who you are.
I respect that.
Yeah.
And people get to make a decision about who they are. And end of the day, it's since I've been in whatever this involvement is, when we invented throupling or whatever we thought it was back in the, it's always been friendship. I'm not in control.
Right.
People look at it and say, like, yo, I'm not in control. I folded laundry the other day. I washed dishes. I wiped dogs' butts. It ain't come home, the king is around. No, it's like, come on, suitcase, whereabouts. It's like, it's not that. So I don't want to live in that world where it's like that.
I respect you talking about it and being forthcoming about it, because I do think that sometimes people have a misconception about what it is and they judge it.
Not just that, if you look at what's popular on the internet and the way it looks, to everybody else is like, oh, this player, oh, that's this. And I don't want that stint of it because my sisters don't like that stint of it. People don't, and that's how you're if I'm a representative of what this feeling is for now, dating, whatever, however you want to put it in there and put it where it's at, caring about multiple people, then I want to be the best representative I could be. I don't want to be, I am not in control. I'm not making this up. Like, and men want you to be like, hey, brother, I'm like, hey, bro, like, no, man, like, what are you talking about?
And it's probably hard still.
When you double, triple broke, you quadruple broke. Like, if you're doing it, if you're being a polite man and you're being, if you're trying to live in chivalrous behavior, it's not an easy world to live in. But I would trust any of the women that are around me nowadays with everything happening before I would trust, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You ever see me since I was young? Girls are just smarter, women are just smarter, and it's just nothing we can do about it. And now you could tell by the way, how many times you see a woman comic like pretend to like act like a man on stage? You don't see it too many times.
They don't have to.
You don't ever see them be like, they might do it like in joking way, like, hey, little mama. But black comedians, men, always imitate a black woman in some kind of way.
That is true, actually.
You can't think of one who's not successful. If you're successful, you have. In the argument form and in this form, you don't see that. You don't see many women doing a closing bit about a man that the men get all uproared and be like, no. You see the comic going, and the ladies, because they know that's what's necessary. So
that's true. I'm happy you talked about that.
And I'm glad I still didn't answer.
She wait, hold on. She didn't really give you a choice not to answer. She really didn't.
She's a hypnotist, man.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to let you talk about your show.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sean,
So my show is called I Have Two Girls. No, after all that, no, man. But I know that it's. I also want to address it because before we move on, I always say to people all the time that we are a product also of what we present, what we sell, and whatever you're allowed to be sold about you at the same time. So if you're not willing to address because if you have a football team, a la the Bears, you have a playbook. You have a playbook that everyone knows about. But if you have a secret play or a sneak play, but people want to know what it's not the easiest thing.
Like the inner dealings,
and make it more understandable rather than that. And if I'm gonna talk about it, I'm like, I want it to be in a comfortable state all the time because people choose uncomfortability over anything because that's the draw. You know what I mean? So I just want to make sure. Because I always say, no, don't talk about that or don't talk about this. It's like, yo, if it comes with it, I have to address it because if I don't, then I'm deflecting. And if you deflect now, that means that's...
Well, it seems like you're smart enough to know like the platform that you have and you hold.
Learned it. Because I had no idea, once again, what any of it was. But my whole career has been different. People always, they fix it. They lock into what my relationship is. My career, I started like in any other comic. I didn't watch it on TV. I moved to LA I won the Comedy Central laugh rights right away. I had a TV deal right away. My whole career, I was out here promoting my own shows. I spent my own money probably to book the show, to promote the show, I've always done things different. I was unconventional. So I felt like, your love is going to be unconventional as well. It has to match who you are.
It matches who you are.
All right, good.
That's the beauty of it, though, too.
Jesus.
That's the beauty of it.
You accepting applications or?
For?
Any additional?
I don't. It's not that.
Ladies, listen up. Ladies, listen up.
Now you're doing it. It's not.
Okay,
Look at the
I
eyes.
just told you
look at
I'm
the
the
eyes.
employee.
I heard you. I heard you.
I work for the system.
Let's talk about your show.
Yes.
You have a show tonight.
Tonight, I have 2 shows tonight. I'm in I'm at the Chicago Improv, which is in Schaumburg at Woodville Mall.
Because of the
But
name.
it's called the Chicago Improv.
That's so
To trick you out of your gas money. But just keep driving. How about just keep driving?
Just keep on driving.
I've always done
you
shows,
can't
and it always happens to fall on MLK weekend, which I love. I love that as because people are off on Monday. It's a representation of, I used to do these shows where I would let, another comic perform with me. I'd be like the MLK comedy dream, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I've always been a fan of this weekend, and it's my mom's birthday week.
Oh, happy birthday to her.
Happy birthday, Ruby.
Awesome. Ruby, that's a beautiful name.
I love that name.
Yeah.
Why you laugh when you say that? Why did you laugh?
Because people who know Ruby, they know my mama. They know, you know what I'm saying? Like she is a Ruby. She's a gem. She's a gem. She did great.
She did.
I am all of my mom.
And how many sisters do you have?
A lot.
A lot.
You have a lot of sisters. Are you the only boy?
No, I have brothers.
Or male?
My dad had fun and family making fun.
As they did.
He had family making fun, right?
As they did.
Yeah. Little guy just running around the city.
Gotta live. Life is all about living.
He also wasn't in control. But he got cursed out a lot more, and I stand with my mom on that one. You know what I mean?
He deserved it.
I stand with my mom on that.
Oh my God.
Good guy. What up, Tony? How you doing, Dad?
What? This is so funny. Where can people get tickets to your show?
They're under your bed. Throughout the night, I went to random people's homes and slid D. Ray Davis.
They're like, what is this?
Under your bed.
Under your bed.
Chicago Improv. Chicago Improv. Just call and get the tickets, man. Most of the weekend, I'm not being not trying to say. I want you guys to go if you can. Most of the weekend is sold out. I'm trying to add Sunday, but it's difficult because there's this little team from here that are doing amazing. Is that why you wear the outfit? Is that the color?
Orange? Yeah. It's Orange Friday.
And you have
Did you know? Oh my word.
What? I didn't get the message.
It's destiny.
I didn't get the message. I just felt it.
It's destiny.
See, man, we are not in control. They left little notes under my bed. Notes.
We just splattered some.
But yeah, so the Chicago Improv, and I'm happy to be here. I love coming home, man. We're having a good time in there. I got Michi on the show with me. He's from here also. Mike Samp went up. A lot of Chicago comics, they just drop in and see me. I appreciate that. Just Nisha's dropped in before. It's a good time to be home. I get to see everybody, have me some Giordano's next door, some Beggar's Pizza, eat everything I want. And
I gotta ask you, you just ran down that list of pizza. What do you do to stay looking so young? You look just like you did when you
Yeah.
My soul. Don't do it. Illuminati is real. Illuminati. No.
They say it is.
Now I'm gonna go outside and age slowly.
He's gonna switch into something else on the street.
I think that as of late, I've been feeling it more because I want to be more of a parent, and to be a parent involved, you have to lose your age. You have to in order to even come off as a parent, because I've had braids since my daughter was a kid. I remember going to school and they're like, "Oh, your daddy got braids." But I don't know. I don't have a regimen. I did not take anything. I don't have any special vitamins, and I'm not doing it like. And I do have a lot going on. I'm not going to pretend like the world has been great. The world is not great for anyone. It trickles down, it gets down, and when you guys are not feeling well, not you guys, like, you're like, "No, I feel great." The fans, but when the fans are not feeling well, we feel that. Like, either you're not showing up, and when you're not showing up, not just financially, but we're like, "Oh, no one's having a good time in the world." The jesters are losing. So I always thought that would affect me more, but I feel like as far as just staying in the loop of things and hard to say this on TV now with everything's been going on, not to be comedic, but there's certain cocoa butter. I'll say cocoa butter without using the last word on it.
Yeah.
Cocoa butter lotion.
Yeah, you can't say oil.
She said it for you.
Oh, B-Ray, you're
but I wasn't trying to be funny because I don't get nobody business. I don't get no rich people business because I don't want. I'm not financially in a place where I can even argue about whatever people's doing. I'm just saying right now the word can't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, baby.
But cocoa butter, I'm not a child. I need grown cocoa man oil.
It's man oil.
Man oil. That's
cocoa man. What can we do? What's another word?
Let's brand that.
What's another?
Man oil.
Let's take the oil out. Let's whip up another word. What's something else to?
Man lubricant. Man lubricant. Man lubricant.
No. We got the rap 3 times. 1, 2, 3 times. And we're talking about lubricant now. We're talking about lubricant.
Now. I need y'all to know. Like what I tell y'all, men are not in control.
No, they not.
DeRay Davis performing tonight through Sunday at the Chicago Improv.
I'll let her say it in the government forum. She can say the government forum. DeRay, whatever y'all want to say.
That's what we have.
DeRay, however you want to say it.
Lubricant.
From his church in Atlanta.
I love it because this is Friday, all right? Orange Friday. Alley Cat, thank you so much for coming in. DJ and producer from Northern Virginia, who is kicking off 9 Lives headline tour in Chicago tonight and tomorrow at Concord Music Hall over in Bucktown. Right, guys?
Yep.
Bucktown, you got it. And you're joining us live this morning. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me. This is my first time doing anything like this, as this is super exciting.
Oh my gosh, that's so surprising because I'm looking at your profile, you know, last night, and I'm like, wait a second, I have people, mutuals, who follow you.
Oh, no way.
Because, oh yeah, okay. I have so many friends, cousins who are into, you know, going to shows like yours. I wake up too early, so I'm never able to make it to any of them.
You're responsible. I love it.
I try to be. How long have you been doing this for?
I've been doing this for about 4 years now. This is my 4th year. It'll be my 4th tour, so yeah.
I gotta ask you, because when I see Northern Virginia, I don't think of this famous popular DJ.
Yeah.
How did this come to be?
Oh wow, I mean, like, I'm gonna try to give like the condensed version of the story, but yeah, I'm from Northern Virginia. DC has a lot of like really good nightlife. Like, I feel like we have really good venues, so I kind of just grew up raving and going to shows like electronic music shows, and I moved to LA. COVID hit. I was kind of just stuck in my studio, stuck in my room. I was a songwriter before that, and that's kind of when I started getting into producing electronic music, because I've always wanted to, but I was like too scared because it seemed really, really complicated. But I kind of just dove into it and started posting my songs on social media, and that's kind of when everything started.
That's awesome.
Okay,
look at you. That's a huge crowd.
That is a huge crowd. And you should be so proud of yourselves. Before we talk more about 9 Lives, I want to talk about like how you know, really got into this industry being so popular, because, you know, we know Skrillex, we know Dom Dalla, you know, we know these big DJs. Is it really competitive, like, or is everyone really accepting of each other in this like kind of part of the industry?
I would say like there's obviously some. I would say there's definitely like some friendly competition to it. You know, like for festival slots and stuff. Like you want to keep growing as an artist. Like there's like a little bit, but I would say like the overarching theme of everything is like everybody's really accepting of each other. I feel like the people that I surround myself with in this industry, at least in like the dubstep scene, like everyone wants to lift each other up and support each other, like very genuinely. So
it's
like hearing that.
When we were watching that video of you and that massive crowd, you almost seemed shocked. Like you can't even still
I'm shocked every time.
What is it about that? What is it that has you kind of like in this mode of like, you can't believe that you're here?
It's just surreal. I mean, like, it's something that I've always wanted ever since I was a little girl, like to just perform in front of people and like do music in any way. I didn't know I was going to be a dubstep DJ, honestly, when I was like little. I thought I was going to be like doing pop music or something like that. But it's made this like transition, and I feel like I'm right where I'm supposed to be. But even then, it's like I see the people like at my shows, and I'm like, I can't believe you guys are here to support me. Like me?
Yeah, like, you are so cute. I can already tell that you're so humble, and you're kind of born for this. Like just your whole vibe coming in, like we knew that.
Thank you.
That you're somebody and someone that people should watch. I'm so confused when it comes to DJing. Okay, do you like do most of your pre-production at home and then like bring it to the show, or is it like all in the moment where you're like
freestyle?
Yeah, freestyling, switching songs. How does it even work?
Okay, so it's funny because like I actually just learned not too long ago, like four years ago, like 3 years ago actually, because I started as a producer. So I was just, you know, making music in my studio and stuff, and then when my music started happening, like people started recognizing it, I was like, oh, okay, like I need to be able to play this out live. So then the DJ like transition happened. But yeah, sometimes I freestyle, more so at like more of the events where like I don't feel as much pressure. But if it's something like an EDC Las Vegas, like I'll pre-plan it. But I'll mix live, you know, like it's not like a pre-recorded set, but I do know kind of like what I'm going to play in the set, so it flows nicely.
I must ask your name because I see on your left arm you have a cat tattoo.
Yes.
How did you end up with the name?
So cute.
Yeah, it is adorable. How did you end up with the name Alley Cat?
Oh, okay. So.
And the CVT part of it all, because you know, when I first saw it, I kept saying, how do you say this? How do you say this? How did it come to be?
And I was just like, just flip over the V.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to tell the more chill version of the story. It's actually extremely complicated. Okay, so basically, like, my friends in college called me Cat. Like, that was my nickname. So that's actually where the cat part comes from. Okay. The alley part comes from a very silly festival experience when I was young, and it has to do with an alpaca. That's as far as I'll go. That's as far as I'll go.
It has to do with alpaca. Okay, we can leave the rest for mystery.
Oh,
and we're gonna have to come.
I want to know more, but okay.
What was your kind of like breakout? You know, like was it getting popular maybe on social media? Was it playing one show and there was the right producer there? I don't know.
So I would say like the breakout moment was probably. I don't know. It's hard to say because there's a social media component of it where it's like I noticed people were catching on to my music, and I would say probably when I went on my first tour, just seeing like that people actually wanted to show up for me in person and seeing like the social media views and the streams actually translate to real life. That's when I was like, okay, this is actually like a thing. Like this could be like my career.
And it is.
And it is.
And
Congratulations to you.
Thank you so much.
Is there a place or maybe a festival that you would like to perform at that you haven't performed at yet, but you're eyeing it? You're like, that you would talk about, that you maybe it's, you know.
People manifest on this show. They look into this camera right there, and they, actually the dreams come true.
This
Seriously.
camera right here?
Yeah.
That one right there.
I would love to play Tomorrowland. I feel like I love Belgium. Like I love Europe in general, and I feel like Tomorrowland is just such an insane festival. It's like the festival of all the festivals, so I would love to play at Tomorrowland.
Okay, I'm telling you, Alley Cat, it's gonna happen.
Is it?
It's gonna happen. Now I can't get over the alpaca aspect.
I know you want to know. You're dying to know.
Let's talk about 9 Lives.
I'll tell you after.
Yeah, this is an off-camera conversation, guys. We have to leave a couple things behind the scenes. Let's talk about 9 Lives, though, and the inspiration behind that, how proud you are of this project.
Yeah, so it took me a really long time, I feel like, to get a body of work together because we live in a day and age of like singles, like keep the momentum going. Like you gotta make sure that you're capturing people's attention, like, you know, because I have the attention span of like a walnut, like actually. So
not a walnut.
But I'm trying to, you know, this body of work is kind of like in a culmination of all the musical lives that I've lived and kind of taking from bits and pieces from those experiences and kind of trying to conjoin them together on one body of work. Because I was a songwriter, like I said. I've done like pop, R&B, country. Like I've done a bunch of different. I've had a lot of musical lives. So, yeah.
What would you like to say to your fans? Because when I look at that video, some of the close-ups, I see people that look like they're in their 20s, their 30s. I mean, it doesn't look like everybody is super in this super young category. What would you like to say to your fans? Or maybe somebody watching right now, they've never heard of you, and they're like, I want to hear more. I'm inspired now to listen to you.
Well, I would say that Alley Cat shows are for everybody. I've seen everybody at my shows from like 2 years old, obviously wearing ear protection, to 80 years old. And not all of my shows are all ages, so sometimes the youngins can't come. But yeah, it's for everybody. I just want everyone to have a good time. I feel like the community that I've been trying to cultivate is very accepting, very safe, and just really fun. So
that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Have you played in Chicago before? If so, how has the crowd been for you, and what do you look forward to this weekend? Chicago's
always a fun time. Like, I mean, they're just they dance, they get into it. So I'm very excited to see that tonight because this is going to be, I mean, I played Lollapalooza last year, and like the crowd was just moving in unison. Like it was just insane. So I'm hoping that I get some of that energy this year.
I must ask you, in terms of being on the road, right? Because you're on the road a decent amount of time. Has there ever been something so memorable that happened to you that it will never, ever, you'll always remember it? Maybe it's an interaction with a fan. Maybe it was something just wild.
Yeah, maybe it's weird.
Anything that's ever happened that sticks out in your mind?
Wow, I mean, okay, there's been so many moments on my years of touring that have been just extremely funny, extremely insane, but I would say like the moment that I remember the most is this little girl, Layla. Like she came to my show. She was, excuse me if I get this wrong, I think she was like 9 or 10 years old maybe. And she was just so funny, and I was talking to her, and she was like, yeah, like, I used to want to be a teacher when I grow up, but now I just want to be like you. And I was like, oh my God, the world needs more teachers. Like, don't, but I'm also like, yeah, I just think it's really cool that I get to inspire girls that are younger, especially girls, you know, because like the dubstep scene and just being a producer in general is very like male dominated. So just see like a young girl be inspired by me and having like a whole conversation with her about it is just really, really cool. And I remember when I was like in that position when I was younger, and it felt good.
I was going to ask you about that too, because when I do think of DJs, oftentimes my mind first goes to males.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, are there tickets available for your show tonight and tomorrow night?
Both of them are sold out.
Both of them are sold out?
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to have to wait for Alley Cat to come back, guys, and then she's going to be back on the show. We'll give you ample time to get the tickets. Thank you so much for coming. Enjoy Chicago this weekend. We can't wait to see you or hear about you going to, what was the venue in Europe?
Tomorrowland.
Tomorrowland.
Hopefully you'll see.
All right, tomorrow will be in Tomorrowland. All right, guys, we have much more Chicago Now right after this short break. Thanks again, Allie.
I got hurt in a car accident and some
right, welcome back to Chicago Now. Do you know that there's a Super Bowl theory?
No.
Going on with Chicago. Okay, let me explain it to you. Right? I'm gonna have to look at the card because this is where all the information is. I want to get it right.
Okay.
People on TikTok are saying that we've been in the wrong timeline since the Cubs won the World Series in 2016.
Okay.
Wrong timeline, okay?
Wrong timeline.
The Cubs were cursed, quote unquote, and that win wasn't supposed to happen, and people think that once it did, there was a major shift in energy that propelled us into the wrong timeline.
So what are we? This is really 2036?
So I'm not really sure. No, just like the whole vibe of the city is off. Would you guys agree, guys? Is that pretty much the point of it?
You do agree?
Okay, they're giving us a nod.
They're like, we don't know.
They say it's wrong because all the bad or unlikely things that have happened since, so in the 10 years.
Because of all the...
Okay.
We can't say that.
Yeah, we can't say this, but let's think about all the bad things that happened in the last 10 years, okay? I would say number one, probably COVID. They believe Chicago needs another massive win/celebration to bring that same energy shift back into the right timeline.
Super Bowl. But I've been saying
what else is going to do it in a sports town like Chicago than winning the Super Bowl?
Super Bowl. Say it with me, Super Bowl. People don't want to believe it. I don't know what it's going to take for you guys to believe it that we're going to the Super Bowl. I've said it. It's happening. Let it go.
And here's more reason why in this conspiracy theory, okay, guys? I'm not just writing my own thoughts and like acting like it's mine. People are also further believing the theory, or at least that the Bears might win because the new Pope is also from Chicago. They say it could be divine intervention.
Who else is closer to God?
But this also brings us to another point, and I think we have enough time for it. Guys, can we play this this little piece of a TikTok video?
We got time for it?
Do we have it? Let's see.
Okay, let's play it. Oh, we got to get it queued up. A little sound there.
Super Bowl celebration parade. Many good ideas, such as the Pope. First and foremost, we need the Pope here. We're dyeing the river orange. Everyone gets a week off of school. Everyone gets a week off of work. At a set time, we'll have all the tornado sirens to get together, and they're going to play Sweet Home Chicago. Parade just can't be on land, okay? I'm thinking we need the Blue Jets here, and I would never say that we need to get the Blue Angels back in the city, but for this we might have to.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that would have to happen. So this is TikTok user Donnie Donovan. She posted this video the other day sharing how she would like to see the city celebrate if the Bears win the Super Bowl. So she said free CTA for a month. We didn't hear that one. Drone show, of course, spelling out the Bears. That's a big thing, the drone show. Shut down LSD for a giant potluck block party.
Okay.
That would be sick. That would be insane.
I'm thinking a new, more updated version of the Super Bowl shuffle. We would need that.
Yeah. That's true.
Something more like, with the times. Don't get me wrong, they did a really good job. But something where you kind of like drop it low. You need Megan Thee Stallion knees for it. I don't know.
You need Megan Thee Stallion knees for it.
They drop it low. So you got to have, be able to get low,
Okay, do we want to see the whole city doing it?
And hold yourself.
Okay, girl.
Yeah, I feel that.
Okay,
yeah, from that workout. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, your legs are gonna be sore. But here's some people in the comments. I love this one.
What?
Some people in the comments had their own ideas. So they want speed cameras turned off for a month. They want free Portillo's hot dogs dropped from the sky.
That's dramatic, but yeah, I can see it. What would you want if we win?
Oh, I also like this one. Make Simone Biles an honorary Jesse White tumbler. That would go in.
Oh, that would be really
That would pop off.
What would you want? We got 2 minutes here.
I would want like a whole big mural painted, like on one of like a giant building.
Okay.
I think that'd be pretty cool.
I can get with that. I like that. That's good.
I have nothing else.
I think the Blue Cross Blue Shield building that lights up should stay lit up.
No, all of Chicago has to take a mandatory week off of work.
To do what?
To just celebrate in the streets.
Okay. All right. I can get with that. I think we definitely need a good parade.
Except the emergency responders, I guess.
I want a good parade, and I want to sing the national anthem. I'm going to start practicing now.
And if they win this weekend, you're going to jump in the pool, or if they win the Super Bowl, you're going to jump in the pool?
If they win the game after this one, I'm going to jump in the pool.
Okay.
Actually, this Sunday would be really good because it's going to be really cold.
And you're going to have to record it.
I'm going to do it this week if I can.
You're going to do it this week?
Yeah, I don't know. My pool top may be frozen.
Okay,
so I got to figure
You have a couple days.
We're going to get it done. All right,
guys.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Go Bears. We're going to take it all. We look forward to talking about the win come Monday. We'll see you then.
Hi, I'm attorney